When I first started getting visions on how our alignment to source self basically destroys this matrix, um, I used to get pissed. I used to get pissed that people were chasing after politics and chasing after idols and in politics and they're still doing that. But 6.5 years of visions later, I realize that people are just solidifying their resolution of true nature. So, um, yeah. But I've had sorry, a lot of visions about how the shift in energy in us, um, is dismantles the shift in the energy that's established in, um, what some people call this cattle system. Um, and I was getting some more visions on that today. That, I mean, that's the only revolution that we really need to do, is a revolution of the self to get back to the truth of what we are spiritually. Um, Once that revolution is established, um, you can't have false systems. Nothing false can stand in the light of that. And that's one of the reminders I had this morning, is that nothing false can stand in the light. And then another thing I was reminded of is that, darkness does have a purpose of testing whether or not you want to return back to the truth of your divinity, um, and play all these inadequate roles of flesh consciousness. Um, I mean, it does serve a purpose to give you the wisdom to understand what is not the divine self, the divine truth of self. But aside from that, anybody feeding into that, trying to leverage it over other human beings, have put themselves in death. Because once the population wakes up to the deception, and regains their truth of self, all of that crumbles. And anyone really clinging to trying to keep it going, it self annihilates. And